From the Diablo Immortal competitor Torchlight Infinite to Marvel Snap, which, spoiler alert, very positively surprised me, I found 4 awesome games to share with you today, and I think you're gonna just love these. So let's just dive in with the newest of them all, Marvel Snap. And to my big surprise, Marvel Snap is actually a fun and unique CCG card battler with fast-paced matches and lots of tactical depth surrounding a simple core gameplay loop. So the basics of the game are that we put together a deck of 12 cards and then head into real-time PvP matches where we have 6 turns to play these cards and ultimately control 2 out of 3 locations on the board by having the most power in those areas. But the thing that really makes the game stand out is that each of these locations have a random event as well, like forcing us to swap our hands at the start of turn 6. And some of these actions even break the game rules, such as adding another round to the match. Combine this with the fact that the cards we play are only revealed after both players have made their turn, and you have a game where predicting your opponent's next move and adapting your strategy to the location events is key to winning. And I really enjoyed that aspect. Now, we earn card boosters used to visually upgrade our cards after every match, and the more we visually upgrade them, the more our collection level increases, which is the way to unlock random new cards in the game. If we win a match, we also slowly increase our ladder rank, but since matchmaking primarily looks at our collection level, those players who pay to visually upgrade their cards faster don't have a pay to win advantage, as they're basically just instantly matched against other players with the same number of cards unlocked. So yes, the game monetizes through in-app purchases for a $9.99 season pass and the boosters used to visually upgrade our cards, but the free-to-play experience is still amazing in this one. You need to be online to play it, it takes up 867 megabytes of space, and for now, at least, it's an easy recommendation for anyone looking for a fast card battler. So let's just hope they don't mess up the monetization later on. Moving on to the next game, it's time to buckle your seatbelt because this is Road Redemption Mobile. It's a brutally violent roguelike combat racing game where we ride across the US while taking down opposing bikers using both melee and ranged weapons. It's also a mobile port of a PC game, by the way, which was initially developed as a spiritual successor to Road Rash. So the game is structured as one long fast-paced race split into separate randomized missions, such as beating others to the finish line or eliminating a number of bikers by pushing them into oncoming traffic, decapitating them with our sword, or, yes, even blowing them up with explosives. It gets kinda crazy, and I just love it. Every time we finish a mission, we also get some cash and XP to spend on temporary items and power-ups, and when we eventually die, which will happen at some point in this game, our XP can be spent on a huge skill tree that makes it easier to get further the next time. This is a difficult game, by the way, and the controls do take some time getting used to, but my best suggestion is to turn on the auto handbrake and then start using the buttons instead of the joystick or tilt options. Or, alternatively, if you have a controller, this game also supports Bluetooth controllers. Road Redemption Mobile is free to try with a single $7.99 US in-app purchase to unlock the full campaign and another game mode. You can play the game offline, it takes up 1.2 gigabytes of space, and while it lacks the multiplayer that the PC version has, it's definitely worth a try for any fan of combat racers because we really don't have many of those on mobile, and this is at least a high quality one. Now, before we get to Torchlight Infinite, I want to share a really great and completely free game I just found that actually used to have ads and in-app purchases, but that has now removed all of it, and it's called Trouble with Robots. And what this is a unique and fun tactical CCG with good humor, cards that represent units and spells, and real-time tower defense-like combat spread across 32 single-player levels. So combat in this game is real-time, and we can use any of the free cards we draw at the start of each wave to fire spells, heal up, or spawn the units that automatically attack the opponents. The only issue is that using each card costs 1 energy, and so does tapping an enemy to throw a lightning bolt. So with maximum of only 5 energy that continuously recovers over time, we have to be very strategic about what to use and when to use it. The game also has a great progression system where as we play through these campaigns, we gradually unlock over 40 cards that get increasingly more complex and interesting. And apart from just individual spell and unit cards, most of these cards also heavily influence each other, creating plenty of room for experimenting with different synergies. It can be played offline, takes up only 54 megabytes of space, and as a completely free yet high quality game, it's an easy recommendation for anyone curious about CCGs or tower defense inspired tactical games. And then finally, let's talk about Torchlight Infinite, which is a loot heavy 3D action RPG with a beautiful open world, a deep skill customization system, and fast paced hack and slash combat. The game has almost everything you'd expect from a high quality action RPG, such as loot that drops to the ground, events, a pet system, and a player to player marketplace. Everything that is except co-op. For now at least. unfortunately. What really sets the game apart though is its deep skill system. Not only can we buy over 200 different skills, but they also level up the more we use them and can be drastically customized via skill modifiers. And this and the talent tree upgrades create a sense of constant progression that I really enjoyed during my time with the game. Unfortunately though, the early combat is just so easy that we can just stand still while attacking the enemies. But to be fair, plowing through thousands of monsters is kind of fun in its own right, and the bosses do eventually become difficult enough that dodging is necessary. The bright sci-fi meets fantasy art style looks great as well, but the loot we equip does not appear on our character, and most skill animations just feel a bit underwhelming, to be honest. And while the touch controls are good, there's no Bluetooth controller support either, so it's a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. Torchlight Infinite monetizes via a battle pass, limited time sales, and in-app purchases for a gacha system with pets that loot our items and provide large stat boosts. While the pay to win definitely isn't as bad as in Diablo Immortal, it's still not great, so yes, you can have fun with the game as a free player, but I just don't recommend spending any money on it. It requires online access, takes up a whopping 4.6 GB of space, and it's ultimately a game whose gameplay gets very close to being great, so as long as you don't expect it to be anything like the PC Torchlight games and you don't spend any money on it, you might actually be able to enjoy it for a while. So let me know what you think about these games and check out this video about the very best idle games on mobile, some of which I'm sure you've never heard about before.